Man, are you excited to step into the ring again?
Yes.
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, Manny.
Don't worry about it.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed you that, he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
We're here in Manila with the great legendary champion Manny Pacquiao, Sean Gibbons, and Manny is announcing.
Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao have just had their first face-off ahead of their fight in July. It is exactly 50 days from now until 46-year-old Filipino boxing legend Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring to face World Boxing Council welterweight Mario Barrios. Due to the age difference, many might deem their fight a mismatch. However, from their face-off, it was more than a random older fighter fighting a younger one.
It was like, when I was growing up, he was always a fighter I was studying, I was always watching. It was always one of my favorites. It was so fucking just so technical, even when he was in danger.
The face-off showed a rivalry between legacy and youth. Manny Pacquiao standing with decades of boxing legacy and greatness against a younger Mario Barrios who's beaming with youthful energy. This return is prompting a lot of conflicting emotions from boxing fans. While some are excited to see the beloved boxer come out of retirement, many others are worried that the sport has passed Pacquiao by. And entering into a professional boxing fight, especially against someone as high level as Barrios, can be a dangerous proposition for anyone, let alone a 46-year-old whose reflexes have surely slowed, whose agility has withered, and whose best days are behind him.
But it's good. Good experience. We give a good action fight to the fans.
Interestingly, the sounds that define Wildcard Boxing Club have returned. The thunderous thwacks against the heavy bag, the vicious grunts of a man expending every bit of force into the blows. Record 8 division champion and impending International Hall of Fame member Manny Pacquiao is back in the game, intent once more to reign as welterweight champion, this time at age 46. I'm still excited for it, and I'm enjoying all the training, Pacquiao August 2nd 62 told Boxing Scene. I still have the passion like before, so I'm excited I don't have to worry about that. Pacquiao moved on quickly from his May 12th election loss for a return trip to the Philippine Senate, committing to fight World Boxing Council 147-pound champion Mario Barrios Jr. February 1st, 29 of San Antonio. Barrios is 30. I'm confident I'll win the fight, Pacquiao said, but I'm not taking it lightly and not underestimating him. I have to punish myself as I've done before in training. Working under Hall of Fame cornerman Freddie Roach and returning to the grueling conditioning regimen that made he and Floyd Mayweather Jr. the top fighters of this century, Pacquiao said his dedicated routine will lead to a far superior performance than the 2 lackluster exhibition fights he undertook since his 2021 welterweight title loss by decision to Cuba's Yordenis Ugas.
10 seconds. But you have a mentality. Nobody has. Kids today just want to get paid. They don't want to fight the best. They don't want to challenge themselves. No, the payment or the earning, everything like that is that's the fruits of your labor. The fruits of your hard work, sacrifices. If you don't want sacrifices, then how can you harvest? There's a famous saying: everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
I just trained 1 week for those, Pacquiao said. They can all expect a good Manny Pacquiao. I know the fans are excited to watch Manny Pacquiao again. I will do my best, and that's why I'm doing this in training, doing all the hard work like I did before in the gym. I'm here to put up a good fight. I won't let the fans down. Pacquiao has been boosted further this week by the world title victories of two fighters he promotes, Mexico's super flyweight Wilibaldo Garcia and countryman Pedro Taduran, a minimum weight fighter. I'm excited and happy for them and happy that I can help others reach my goal, Pacquiao said.
Yes. It's good, but I put the video up and all the comments were, thank you for saving boxing. Boxing needed you, man. They're happy. It's not the same without you. It's not as exciting.
I'm so happy because not all of the boxers like me, and giving me strength and physical strength, like physical condition like me, especially on my side.
Defeating Barrios would give Pacquiao his 13th welterweight title victory since first having the World Boxing Organization strap wrapped around his waist following a 12th round technical knockout of Hall of Fame 4-division champion Miguel Cotto way back in 2009. Feeling that again is something that has occupied Pacquiao's thoughts often in recent weeks. It means a lot to come back, and I ask that of the Lord, Pacquiao said of reclaiming a world title at the second most advanced age in the sport's history. Some are expecting him to do it, including new secondary World Boxing Association welterweight champion Rolly Romero, who has called for a showdown with a victorious Pacquiao. Would Pacquiao consider fighting after Barrios? I don't know, one at a time. I need to focus on this one fight, he said.
I've been in boxing for so long, and I'm still here, kicking, healthy. That's God's goodness. I mean, I always praise the Lord.
Manny, for all the fans and
Whatever
media,
happens, I always praise the Lord for everything's happened in my life. Because everything's happened in my life for a purpose, and the Lord, my God, is good always.
Well, it's a true story. The way you started, very humble beginnings.
This is surely not what Pacquiao fans were hoping to hear in terms of a fight prediction. It is true that most of Barrios' best wins have been done better by others. He was the first of 3 men to outscore Olympian Batir Akhmedov, the third of 4 to outpoint Fabian Maidana. He got to Ugas 2 years after the Cuban busted the ghost of Pacquiao, and 1 year after Errol Spence Jr. had already knocked him out. The powers that be will regale you with tales of Barrios' last fight, where he was dropped and taken to a draw by Abel Ramos, who had lost 3 of his last 5 outings. The more wicked storytellers might even allege Ramos had done less to warrant that title shot than Pacquiao has his.
General Santos living on a cardboard, no bed, to the cover of Time magazine. How many people could say that? It's like 10 different movies.
Can you imagine sleeping in the street, like in the cartoon, and sometimes you eat, sometimes none. You have food, like, you know, amazingly what I have done, what I have accomplished in life. It's because of God's goodness, mercy, and blessings, and it's not because of my.
Feats like this are not without precedent. The example you will hear most often is that of George Foreman, who won the heavyweight championship at the age of 45. But anyone comparing Foreman to Pacquiao is neglecting to mention that Big George had been back in the ring for 7 years when he knocked out Michael Moorer. His second coming was 31 fights in, 3 of which had been for world titles. The other example invoked is the one man who has held a world title while older than Pacquiao is now. Bernard Hopkins reigned as World Boxing Association and International Boxing Federation light heavyweight king aged 49, 3 years older than our legendary subject. But the grand old executioner did not have a layoff to contend with. Hopkins was a fighter that peaked late, rather than one who retired before returning years later.
Of my ability or strength or knowledge, it's because of God's mercy and strength.
No, one time you told me they used to live in the gym and you had 1 bag of rice for everybody in the gym. How can you box with no nutrition?
That's right.
But you did it.
I did it because my mind is always focus on ahead. Like, and I always think advance. So
Barrios is not the best world champion in boxing or even in his division, but he is a 29-year-old fighter who has fought 5 times since we last saw Pacquiao in a pro boxing match. Admittedly, the 2 best fighters he has faced have beaten him. Gervonta Tank Davis stopped him in 11 rounds, while Keith Thurman outscored him over 12. But this is still a fighter who has amassed top-flight experience and remains in his physical prime. I also don't think you have to be a world-class fighter to beat a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Manny looked like his body was no longer capable of summoning the sharp reflexes required to obey his supreme boxing brain. Ampo stood 6 foot tall, the largest fighter Pacquiao had ever faced. But it was less about what he did and more what Pac-Man did not do. Pacquiao's absence of timing and sharpness made the exhibition an uncomfortable watch.
Yeah, it's surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and, you know, try his best. That's what Manny. One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So yeah, he's going to give it his all.
The version of the man that lost to Ugas had lost a yard. This iteration had lost a mile. Pac-Man announced his retirement from professional boxing shortly after he was defeated by former World Boxing Association welterweight champion Yordenis Ugas. Back in the summer of 2021, the Filipino superstar has fought in 2 exhibition bouts since his official retirement. DKU, a martial arts influencer, did little to trouble him. But professional K1 kickboxer Rukia Ampo made Pacquiao look old and slow in a boxing rules exhibition. In an interview with Sporting News Australia, Crawford was asked if he believes Pacquiao can defy the odds and become a world champion once again, initially needing just 2 words to sum it up: 50-50.
There's a rumour going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. You know, if he get in there and win, then everybody will be saying different. So I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
Mario Barrios is a great matchup for Manny Pacquiao, and I think at this age it's a 50-50 fight for Manny Pacquiao. Victory over Barrios will see Pac-Man become the oldest world welterweight champion of all time, breaking the current record which he held himself when he defeated Keith Thurman back in 2019 to capture the World Boxing Association welterweight crown at 40 years old. It has also been confirmed that Pacquiao has linked up with legendary trainer Freddie Roach, who worked with the Filipino great for 34 of his fights over 16 years before their relationship broke down back in 2018. And with Pacquiao set to make his boxing return, age 46 in July, to face Barrios, there are few better than Khan to decipher what the outcome of the fight will be.
Have you got any thoughts on that fight with Mario Barrios, and is there any chance we see you still in there at 46?
Nah, at 46, I don't plan on being back in the ring, you know, but Mario Barrios is a great matchup for Manny Pacquiao. And I think, you know, at this age, it's a 50-50 fight for Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao takes on the monumental task of fighting for a world title against World Boxing Council welterweight champion Barrios on July 19th. One guy who knows both Barrios and Pacquiao well is British icon Amir Khan, who won a silver medal at the 2004 Olympics and held both the World Boxing Association Super and International Boxing Federation light welterweight titles during his iconic career. Former Olympic medalist and World Boxing Council lightweight champion Khan trained and sparred with Pacquiao back in 2008. Khan has also sparred with Barrios in the past and therefore knows both fighters well. This is why it was fascinating to hear his opinion of their upcoming fight during a recent interview with Sky Sports.
Manny was a beast, bro.
Yeah.
I used to spar with him, and I.
But that's why I think people thought that's a dangerous fight for Canelo because of where you was.
For me, it was perfect because why at that time was because I had just got beat by Prescott, and I went to America to train there to rebuild myself, and I needed somewhere to go, which is gonna make me train hard.
Did you feel you have to move away from the UK at that?
He said his sparring with Pacquiao was really competitive and an honor. Khan spent a ton of time with Pacquiao in the ring. As Khan has said, the two apparently sparred over 300 rounds together. They were also scheduled to fight each other at one point. But despite sharing maybe 300 rounds with Pacquiao, Bolton's Khan believes the challenge ahead for the pound-for-pound great is a risky one. I think it will be a fantastic fight, but if I was to advise Manny, I wouldn't say to come back, Khan said, speaking to Sky Sports. You should come back to someone that's already retired, someone like myself, for example, because then it's an even fight.
I had to, man.
Get rid of all the distractions.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then when I went there, you know the first thing Freddie did the first week? Because jump in the ring with Manny Pacquiao and spar with him.
What was that like? Talk us through some sparring stories with Manny Pacquiao.
It's the only spar you will ever see.
On YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the first ever spar we had. After that, no one ever recorded.
But when you look at a young fighter who's still a fighter, who's still boxing, who's active, sometimes it's dangerous. Khan was linked to fight Pacquiao for the majority of his career, but it never came to fruition. In April, the 38-year-old even told TalkSport that he would welcome a boxing return to fight Pac-Man if the offer was there. At the end of the day, he's been out of the ring for a long time, and has he still got the fire in his belly? Khan added. Barrios, I'm sure he's going to come in wanting to win this fight because it can change his life.
But I've got around about like maybe 300 rounds of spar with Manny, and there were some days we did really well, some days we got the better of him, some days we got better of me. But it was a really competitive spar. What Freddie would what Freddie would say about it was like two cocks, you throw them up and there's a fight each. Like, that's what you two were like. Speed versus speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was an honor to be in the ring with such a legend.
Barrios was crowned the WBC interim welterweight champion when he defeated Yordenis Ugas in September 2023. Ugas was the last person to fight Pacquiao, outpointing the Filipino legend in August 2021. Barrios has boxed 5 times since the aforementioned clash and was elevated to full world champion status last June when Terence Crawford vacated the strap to move up to super welterweight and fight Canelo Alvarez. It's a fantastic fight for Mario. He needs that big fight, Khan concluded. He'll be paid well in fighting a legend like Manny Pacquiao. Who would say no to that?
There's been talks about it for a long time that, yeah, he wants to fight again. But I don't know, there's nothing really that materialized from it, you know what I mean? As long as if we can get like a Turkey or a Sheikh or someone to put the money down and persuade Manny to do this, then yeah, it'll happen. But other than that, I don't think it'll happen.
You've been talking. I know you've always
we know each other. We spoke about it, but it's somewhat about the investment. If someone's willing to put the investment down, and we've not really got anyone.
Mario deserves this fight because every fighter wants that big payday. It will be fantastic for him. When me and Virgil Hunter were training together, I used to spar with him quite a lot. He's a very good boxer. I don't know how much Manny's got left in him. If they were in their prime, in their peak, then I'd say all day Manny Pacquiao. But this could be a tricky fight for Pacquiao. A long layoff, and at the same time, you're always that one punch away from getting hurt. He doesn't need to come back, but sometimes you do miss the sport. Manny might miss not having that recognition, that love he used to get being a fighter, but I'm sure people will turn up to watch him. Pacquiao is regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, as an 8-division world champion.
Manny Pacquiao, who's the other guy? Jason Statham, come to watch me spar.
Way.
I'm sparring.
He's a
Guess
G.
who walks in afterwards? Behind me. Manny Pacquiao goes, I was watching your movie. To Jason. Jason like, my movie? Jason got buzzed up, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, man. But he goes, and it was cool because Jason's like, I come to see Amir. You know what I mean? So my way.
His last outing saw him struggle against Japanese kickboxer Rukiya Ampo in July 2024 when fans pleaded for him to hang up the gloves after an extremely tough night. He faced significant opposition to any further return, with the boxing fraternity keen for him to avoid any risk. But he has since been inducted into the World Boxing Council rankings following the announcement that he would be making a return to the sport.
Amir, what is going on with you and Manny Pacquiao?
I know, Manny says he wants to fight. I'll take the fight. I mean, let's make it happen. I mean, look, 2 retired fighters come back.
It would still do crazy numbers, wouldn't it?
You know that as well. You know how big of a fight that would be.
Promoter Frank Warren believes it is a bad look for the sport. It's not boxing doing it, it's the governing body, Warren told TalkSport. That rests with them. George Foreman came back and won the title at 50 years old. You come in and test the waters going straight into a world title fight? I don't understand that. For me, it doesn't sit well with me for the sport. I've got to be honest, I don't agree with it. There was talk of Vladimir Klitschko, but these guys are well past their sell-by date. That is the truth. And the facts are, it doesn't do the business or the sport any good.
Delighted to say top boxing promoter Frank Warren joins us live. Frank, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. Frank, good morning to you. What do you make of this? I mean, should legendary status fast track you back to the top in sport? Because that's what it looks like in the case of Manny Pacquiao, Frank.
Yeah, it does, and I've got to be honest, I don't agree with it. Even though there was one stage there was talk of Klitschko doing the same thing. But look, you know, these guys passed their sell-by date. That's the truth of the matter. And the facts are that it doesn't do the business.
Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios lock horns in 50 days' time. And it'll be seen which takes the lead between age, experience, and legacy, or youth and vibrance. Pacquiao, who's making his return in the same year he's been inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame, represents experience and legacy, while Mario Barrios represents youth. Boxing professionals have lined up on both sides of the fence, with some choosing the boxing legend despite the apparent disadvantages. What are your thoughts on the fight between Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao? Who's your pick ahead of the fight? Let's know your thoughts on all of these in the comment section. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.